One problem I've always had with this excavator is the canopy. It's too tall. I can't get it into my shop. Today's project is to get that canopy off again and get it up on blocks out here so I can deal with it later and then put the 91 in the shop. Every time I've had to put this in the shop, I've had to take this canopy off this way, and frankly it's really annoying, and we're going to change that. There, that'll keep that up out of the snow till I'm ready to haul her inside. My 91 excavator is in for winter shop. And the first order of business is I got to take this ram off and have it rebuilt. As you can see, it's leaking. I've been losing fluid. It's all over my shop floor. Then the next order of business is I'm going to have to take this ram off and have it rebuilt as well. I'm eventually going to have this one rebuilt here, and I'm going to have that one rebuilt for the blade lift. This machine is kind of low on hours. It doesn't have a lot of hours on it, but it's a 1998, and what I'm finding with this machine is it sat for a long time apparently. But I think that's the problem more than anything, is just the fact that this machine has sat. I had to have the fuel pump rebuilt last year because the O-rings in it were hard and it started leaking. And I think that's the same thing that's going on here. I think these have just sat with no use until I bought it in 2015. And I think that they're finally giving up. So anyway, that's the project for today, is we're going to take this ram off and we're going to get it rebuilt first. So let's do that. Wire this up so it's out of the way, and that'll hold it. Okay, that's out. Now these pins both seem to be in super duper good shape. I don't see any problem with those at all. So we'll put that right there. And the bolt that goes in it will stick right there. Now this pin also looks really good. I'm going to clean that one up a little bit and I'll re-show that. It's not really bad, so I'm not going to worry about that one. I am going to clean out the grease reservoirs, and you can see that it's got a little slop, but not terrible. It goes back through there to that side. And that pin's in pretty good shape. Now this one up here, I don't know. It looks like that one's pretty ratty. I think I'm going to have to replace this pin and this pin because this bucket is fairly loose. I think you've noticed that. So I'll probably get new pins for these two or make them here. But I need to make sure this has got shims that go on this side, so I'm going to put them right on that side, and I'm going to do the same thing with the pin. I'm going to put it in, put the other bowl on too. And leave those just like that. So this ram is going in for repair. This ram just came back from being rebuilt. Inside here, they put all new wipers, whatever they put in them. This has got a new seal here and on the other side. And down here, there's another seal here that you can see. That one has been replaced as well. There's a wiper on the inside to hold the grease in. This ram was worn out. This piece here would move in and out with no effort. So it's no wonder I probably had some tussle with trying to get stumps out and stuff. It'll be very interesting to see if this ram performs better now. So this ram we're going to put back on, and then the next process is we're going to get this ram, which is the stick ram, off, and that's going in to be rebuilt. This is a 1998 Kubota excavator, and I firmly believe that probably these rams are OEM. They've never been touched. So it's time to get them all done. So here is where the bucket ram goes back on. And that's what we're going to put together right now. And then we're going to take the stick ram off and take it in. So let's do that. First thing I'm going to do is get the threads cleaned up on these pin bolts using my roll around grinder. There. Both of those look really good now. I should be able to put my jam nuts on with no problem. So let's get this thing on. I'm going to clean up in here and get that cleaned up. And there's some bushings in here, some shims here. Get those cleaned. Now that one you can see is bent, so straighten this out. Okay. This ram has to go this way because the bracket is on the outside. Now we got that in. Let's slide this in. Get it lined up. Oop. There we go. Figure out where my holes are. They're right there. And we'll get this lined up. Where it's supposed to go. Okay, so that side's on. Now, pretty sure I want my grease on the outside. Run down into the bucket. All right. Holy mackerel, it landed right on the holes. How about that? Huh. Now this bolt had a little flat spot on it, so I took it back out and I took it over to my vise and I ran the nut on and off, and it'll be fine. So let's put this in. One other job I have to do here is through looking at video. This grease fitting has to be flipped over to the bottom. So I have to take this pin back out and flip this arm over and then reinstall it. That should take no time at all. The ram is sitting up, it's loose, so let's do it. There, that's the way that should be. It should be protected under there. There's a lot of guys who could and would fix these rams themselves, but I have never done it. It's a tough situation to get these seals out and get these rams out for the amount of money I paid, which I thought was very reasonable to have this all done. And this comes down and goes on here. Never sees these bolts a little bit. So if I have to take them off again, I can. I use never sees religiously. Nice. The next step is to take the other ram off. So let's do that. See how hard this comes out, see if this is centered or not. I don't know. Perfect. Okay. That's out. Now we got to get these hoses off. We got that one. Now we're going to have to get a rag on there because the fluid's going to come. Drained out of there. I guess I'm going to have to slide this one down. Down into the rag. The reason why I had to take those two hoses off back there is because they come up in underneath on the ram here, and I can't get in there to do anything with it at this point, so I got to get the ram out and then I can take those hoses off. They don't need to go with it. Let's do that. And this pin looks awesome as well. Run it up and slide it over the front here. Okay. I don't see any shims there. He'll replace these seals. So everything looks really good, except the ram itself probably is not good. So got that squared up. Okay, those are out. You can see these are a little ratty, so I'm going to have new hoses made. It's been about 5 days since I sent this ram in for rebuild, and the task for today is to get the hydraulic hoses mounted and then mount it back on the machine. So let's do that. The hydraulic hose that goes to this, the short one, was bad, so I had a new one made. Now this hose seems to be in fine shape. You can see where they had tough tape on here before. That cleaned up. What you don't want to do with these is you don't want to get any of this tough tape in that little V cut. Now, one of the things that had happened inside this ram, according to the fellow who rebuilt it, is there are two wipers that go on each end, and apparently somebody must have driven that in and they folded those over. That's one of the reasons why this ram was leaking. So now it's time to stick this on the machine, so let's do that. First thing I have to clean up is this shim. Ram's got to come back a little bit. Wheels lined up there. That's pretty close right there. All right, let's go hook up our hoses. Should do that one. Let's get the other one in place. Okay. Clamp reinstalled here. That job is done. It went really well. It was fast and it was easy. see no leaks anywhere. Looks like those are fixed. For the price I paid to have those 4 rams rebuilt,